Welcome back to Leviathans' Feel free to take a seat by the fireplace. Tonight, I will be reading you a selection of short stories. Enjoy! Forgetful. I'm prone to forgetting things, and when I do, usually it's quite embarrassing. I'm very forgetful, so I've gotten used to the feeling of embarrassment. My friends would often rib me for my forgetfulness, but at least they knew that much of me, and didn't expect me to be reliable. With that much established, I was fine with that. One of my friends wanted to give me an honest chance, though. Clarissa asked me to watch her baby girl, Sam, and I was forgetful again. I tried my hardest, believe me, but she wandered out of my sight. I did eventually find her. She was... I tried my hardest, believe me, but she wandered out of my sight. I did eventually find her. She was struggling and I managed to fish a small toy out of her. I did eventually find her. She was struggling and I managed to fish a small toy out of her throat. My friend looked very angry with me, but I couldn't stop smiling. I was proud of myself for accepting and living up to a sort of responsibility. Nobody had ever trusted me with something like that before. Another one of my friends, Marianne, asked me to watch her darling boy Joseph. He was a quiet little thing who tended to read all alone in his room. I didn't want to be negligent again. That's what one of my other friends called it. So I went over to his room and read the book with him to make sure nothing bad happened to him. Halfway through his big book, I smelled smoke, so I picked him up and hurried out of the window with him, making it down to the ground safely. Marianne's house had been set ablaze, but the fire department was nearby. As Marianne read me for dirt, I overheard one of the firemen remarking about how close the fire started to Joseph's room. My stomach turned. If I weren't there, things could have been much worse. Angelica, Jelly, as she called herself, was my next babysitting request. Her mother's name was Julia, and she was very busy that day. She asked me to come babysit her daughter, so of course I did. I was happy to have saved 2 lives by this point. Jelly liked to run around while listening to loud puppy music on her phone. I wasn't really one for pop music, but I could see the appeal. I asked her to come downstairs because I'd prepared some fruit pops. But when she ran toward the stairs, she suddenly slipped, taking a nasty tumble down the stairs. The first thing I did was call 911, and since the operator was on the phone with me, I could follow her directions to the letter. Jelly had broken a leg and a rib, but she was otherwise going to be okay. What I didn't understand is why all my friends seemed so upset with me. Was it really just because I pointed out how slippery Jelly's shoe soles were? The police had asked, so I was honest with them. But they just seethed at me, all saying the same thing. Why weren't you forgetful this time, Cassie? Personality test. Warning: terrifyingly accurate. Answer these questions and discover your true self. It's late at night and I'm bored, so why not? I click the link. Instructions. Pick the answer that most accurately describes you. After 15 short questions, you will see who you really are. 1. I get scared easily. There is a menu with answers ranging from strongly agree to strongly disagree. I answer disagree. 2. I am always around other people. I spend most of my time alone in my room. Strongly disagree. 3. I pay attention to my surroundings. I admit that I am usually wearing earphones, blissfully unaware of my surroundings. Disagree. 4. I live alone. I dislike having roommates. Strongly agree. 5. I would know if I'm being watched. My eyes widen. What is this, some cheap trick to scare me? Well, I'm not falling for that. Strongly agree. 6. Are you sure? Okay, test, I get it. You want to scare me. I'm not so easily scared though. Strongly agree. 7. I worry a lot. Not really. Disagree. 8. I have a hyperactive imagination. Only somewhat. Agree. 9. I trust people easily. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Strongly agree. 10. I trust the person standing behind me. My eyes widen, and I quickly turn around and check. There is nothing but an empty doorway. Is this another cheap tactic to scare me? Strongly disagree. 11. I am good at running. Strongly disagree. 12. I have experience fighting. Strongly disagree. What is this test trying to imply here? 13. I love meeting strangers. Not particularly. I prefer being alone most of the time. Disagree. 14. I'm alone in my house right now. I don't have anyone visiting and I live alone. Strongly agree. 15. Are you certain? I answer that I strongly agree. Then click a box labeled Submit Answers. Please wait while we process your results. I'm disappointed in this test. I guess it might make for a nice gag link to send to my friends. Maybe I'll get a few crude scares in. Right from the start, I knew that the questions were trying to imply there was some spooky, scary thing in my room. Oh well, let's just see my results. Loading, 10%, 64%, 99%. Loading done. Click the link below to view your test results. I click the link leading to my test results, expecting to see some generic personality profile. Instead, I see a picture of myself sitting at my computer answering question 10. Shocked, I examine the picture closely. Then the realization hits me. Based on the camera angle, this picture was taken from the doorway just behind me. That last customer. Glad to see you again, I said, winking. You're not supposed to be happy to see me, he replied. It's always size. I'm different. Now turn off that open sign and sit. I'll make you a drink. He clicked off the sign, hung his head upon the rack, and took a seat on the stool at the counter. He likes whiskey, so I put a spritz of water in it to brighten the flavor. He works hard. How many today? I asked, sliding the glass to him. Many, he replied, visibly tired. He slid back the shot and closed his eyes, focusing on the taste. He never said, but I knew his senses were dulled after years of being active. Want another? He didn't respond. Instead, he lit up a cigarette, something he knew wasn't allowed in the bar. I smirked at him as his skinny fingers pulled it away from the puff of smoke escaping his lips. I'm fine, Jackson. How about a venting session, huh? His suit was drenched from the rain outside. He was stressed. Let me hear it all. I know how tired you must be. He took another hit from the cigarette and looked up at me with dark eyes. It's exhausting. Every day, every night, nothing changes. I know my role, but for once, I'd like to enjoy the day. I'd like to take time to enjoy the sun and its warmth, the bliss of a good night's sleep. I haven't slept in years, it seems. Hell, I don't remember the last time I took a nap. I peered out the window at the empty streets. Looks pretty empty to me, I said while flipping off the bar lights. Rest your eyes. I won't tell anybody. Although confused, he was too wary to argue. For the first time, I watched him lay his head down and take a nap. It was surreal. I could feel the weight being lifted off my shoulders and everyone else's. It wasn't a dark or evil feeling, it was more happiness. I was creating so much happiness and joy for everyone by letting him sleep on my counter. I felt like God. The whole world in my hands. Minutes had passed before he woke up, finally. He checked his wristwatch and shook his head to wake himself, stressed once again. Thank you. You're the only one who doesn't treat me like you should. Visit me anytime, I replied with a smile while turning the chairs on their tables. In either way. He gave me the sympathetic look he always did before leaving. I'll be seeing you soon. The doorbell jingled as he exited into the world once more. He's my favorite customer, oddly enough. It's a thrill to see him come in, as I generally don't know what he's there to do. Until he visits next time, I wonder if he'll ever show up again close to me, be it a family member or a friend, or even me. Dev is my favorite customer. He doesn't tip well, though.